It's that time of year again, everyone. Wow, we missed this time of year last year. Feels like it's been a very long time since I did a list of E3 predictions, because it has. Welcome to the top 10 E3 2021 predictions. Now, I will be honest with you. I don't know if it's because I haven't been following many leaks and rumors, or maybe it's because the rumor mill hasn't been as hot as it usually is during E3, but a lot of these are basically just wishful thinking or just guesses. So these are my top 10 E3 2021 wishes / predictions. But before we get started, you know what to do. Be sure to subscribe if you're new, hit the bell, and leave a comment, and you'll be a little subscriber.
I wanted to give to you, in the last part of your notes here, the significance spiritually of the number 10 in the Bible.
Now this game isn't anything that was specifically rumored or leaked, but I have it here because it makes a lot of sense. I mean, it kind of was leaked, but not exactly. Look, let's get into it. There were actually many rumors of there being a new Kirby game this year. I'm going to go a step further and actually say that number 10 is a 3D Kirby game. Every single Nintendo franchise that was 2D made the jump to 3D, except for Kirby. There was Kirby 64, which is sort of like a 2.5D game, but that's not 3D, so that doesn't count. Couple that in with the fact that it's been quite a bit since we got a new Kirby game, and I think it is time for us to get a new one. Sure, Sakurai is still in the middle of working on Smash and its Final Fighters, but let's hope we at least get an announcement of a new 3D Kirby game. It's long overdue. Very recently, in fact, it was leaked, and this was a very weird leak, but kind of like this. It was leaked that an XCOM style Marvel RPG is in the works and will possibly be announced at E3. And you know what? I'm kind of about that. I think it is time to call it on Avengers, as it was just a failure and not a good idea, as it's not what anyone wanted. When it was originally announced, I thought we were going to get like an Avengers game similar to like Spider-Man. Imagine how cool that would have been. Not this live service game. An XCOM style RPG is still not quite what anyone wants, but it's certainly an intriguing idea, and it's almost like something I didn't know I wanted. The XCOM games are pretty solid too, so throwing the Marvel characters in and making it a Marvel game would be very interesting. It's definitely intriguing.
So I'm going to be giving this flavor 8.5 out of 10 scoops.
A few weeks ago, many upcoming Nintendo games were leaked and possibly being announced at E3. I don't know how true these are, how reliable, but one of those games, which was certainly a very interesting one and intriguing possibility, is WarioWare. I've noticed that since the first WarioWare, we've been getting a game on pretty much every generation of Nintendo platforms since, a new WarioWare game. I think it's time we see a new WarioWare. To be honest, I'd kind of prefer a new Wario Land or Wario World game, but let's be real, that ain't happening like ever. So a new WarioWare game, though, would be much appreciated.
Very close, but that's not it. Let's go to Gary the Retard. What number between 2 and 4?
Donkey Kong. We haven't seen a new Donkey Kong game since Tropical Freeze on the Wii U, and while we've seen the game ported to Switch, we still haven't gotten a new game in a while, so I mean, I wouldn't really count that. Sure, it's got the new funky mode included, but I still wouldn't count that. But what we haven't seen in even longer is a 3D Donkey Kong game. There is only one, and that's Donkey Kong 64, which was a solid game, but there have been recent leaks and rumors of a new 3D Donkey Kong game being developed by the same developers as Super Mario Odyssey. That would be crazy. It is certainly time for a new 3D Donkey Kong game, especially since Donkey Kong 64 was very well received, and being developed by the Odyssey devs is even more intriguing. It's kind of been forgotten, but Odyssey was held in crazy high praise, and a Donkey Kong game would certainly be a great next option.
Okay, Mrs. Puff, what's my final score?
6.
Woo! So, Elden Ring. Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen Elden Ring, as we first saw it at Microsoft's 2019 E3, so the last E3, and we've seen literally nothing else since. I think it's time. There were many leaks and rumors last year that Elden Ring was supposed to come out in June of last year. That did not materialize, did it? And I'm guessing that the reason we haven't seen it since E3 2019 is probably due to the pandemic and how it probably pushed back the development, and also there probably wasn't a place to reveal this game. But I think it'll have something at E3, considering it was announced at Microsoft, and Microsoft are of course having another press conference, and also Bandai Namco are going to have a press conference, so I think it's very likely we'll see it. Plus, just a collaboration between From Software and George R.R. Martin is too good of an idea to keep us waiting.
Oh, chills. Literal chills.
It was number 5. Number 5 killed my brother.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Did you guys know that WB are having a press conference? Yeah, they usually don't do that, so this seems kind of strange, but that could mean that we can see a status update on games like Gotham Knight, Back 4 Blood, Hogwarts Legacy, Suicide Squad, or Lord of the Rings Gollum. Yeah, they have that much coming up. But the one thing I'm expecting from WB, and I think it is very likely now that they are having their own press conference, so they'll have their a whole bunch of announcements, is a new game from NetherRealm. Mortal Kombat 11 has concluded, and Ed Boon has announced that he has started development on his next title. It has been leaked as many things, whether it's Injustice 3, a Marvel fighting game, a Marvel vs. DC fighting game. I'm not kidding. I'm going to predict safely and say it's Injustice 3, and that would be awesome. I would be super stoked for that. Any of these would be superb though, and I think since WB will be having their own press conference, it seems very likely that we'll see NetherRealm's next game. Also, upon thinking about it, I just realized that they are not going to have a Marvel game at a Warner Bros. Event, so Injustice 3, everyone. Make it happen. Guys, I still don't have a PS5. It's sad, especially since I've seen Ratchet & Clank getting good reviews. Great reviews, bro. Please, retailers, get more. Wait, no, it's not your fault. Please, Sony, put out more. Retailers, please notify me. Maybe you can send me. Okay, I just wanted to let that out. But kind of on the subject of the PS5 is an upcoming game for a long-running franchise that I kind of recently just got into, and that is Final Fantasy with Final Fantasy 16. I'm assuming Final Fantasy 16 will be more like an action RPG similar to Final Fantasy 15 and 7 Remake. And don't get me wrong, the JRPG games are fantastic, but I like the direction they are going with the ARPGs. We haven't seen Final Fantasy 16 since the PS5 presentation back in September, and I've seen it pop up in many PS5 ads as if it was right around the corner or something, which I think is weird, but nothing official really has come out. But also throw that in with the fact that it seems very likely that this will be the first ever M-rated Final Fantasy game, and you have my interest. Alright, so this entry is kind of cheating as there are actually 3 games, but if I separated these games, then more than half the list would be Nintendo. So this entry is Breath of the Wild 2, Metroid Prime 4, and Bayonetta 3. These are 3 games that were announced a while ago, but we know next to nothing about, and constantly pop up in predictions for stuff like this. The most likely, and I think by a mile, is probably Breath of the Wild 2, as this is a big year and big anniversary for Zelda, and it just seems right to show Breath of the Wild 2 at E3, or at the very least give us like an official title or something, as I doubt it's just going to be called Breath of the Wild 2. Also, it was only announced 2 years ago as opposed to these other 2 games. Bayonetta 3 is a game I would have never expected would be announced, and 4 years later we'd be wondering if we are even going to see it at E3. Hideki Kamiya has said to forget about the game to sort of help the wait, and also he keeps saying that the game is coming along nice, but I feel like it has been far too long. Think about it. This game was revealed at the 2017 Game Awards, the same event where Breath of the Wild 1 won the Game of the Year. That was the year the Switch came out. And then there is Metroid Prime 4. Now, unlike Bayonetta 3, we've gotten a status update on Metroid Prime 4 a few years ago, with development from Namco being scrapped and restarted by Retro. But I think it's time for something. It'll be a little disappointed if it's just a CG trailer, but that would at least be something. Come on, give us something for these games.
Pencil do we take again?
Number 2. Take a number 2.
Looks like you took a big number 2.
Okay. The runner-up may seem like wishful thinking, but hear me out. Capcom is set to have a press conference this year. The time it's supposed to go live isn't clear, but there is a lot they could announce. And I am really hoping that one of those games will be a new Mega Man game. It's been 3 years now, but Mega Man 11 came out and revived Mega Man, and it was announced that due to it selling well, Capcom have started development on the next Mega Man game, whether it's Mega Man X9 or Mega Man 12 or a brand new Mega Man game that nobody is even thinking about. Like, maybe it could be fucking Mega Man and Base 2, who all of you know. I think it's time we see a new Mega Man game. Normally I feel like this would be wishful thinking, but Capcom is actually having a presentation at E3, so come on. Now before we get into number 1, let's look at some honorable mentions.
Luigi,
Did you guys notice something from the beginning of this video? Well, I make these E3 prediction lists every year, but I always say that since it's too predictable, I'm excluding Smash from the list. So maybe, you know, I didn't need to say that this time, just because it's easy. But I got you, didn't I? Or did I just... were you not even thinking of that, were you? Well, regardless, a new Smash character is number 1. Of all the entries on the list, I also think this is the most likely. I'd even go as far as to say that's all but confirmed. There are 2 more characters left to be revealed, and while I don't think we'll get both of them, like how in 2019 where they revealed 2 characters, since it's E3, I'm pretty sure and confident that there will be a major third-party character revealed at E3. My heart and gut both say Crash, but honestly, I won't be predicting specifically who, because every time I do that, I am super wrong. But I am eagerly anticipating the next Smash fighter, and also I'm a big Smash fan in case you didn't know, so that is why a new Smash character comes in at number 1. So that's my list. Do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? What are your E3 predictions? It can be from anyone. Nintendo, Microsoft, Square, Ubisoft, Capcom, Gearbox, they're having one. You know, it can be from anyone. What do you think will be announced this year? If you like this video, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.